Okay, integrated science students, welcome to our new assignment. This is assignment 7.2. Folks, what you are going to do in this assignment is you are going to draw an initial model of specifically what causes earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis. What do you think is causing these three phenomena? Okay, well, these three, maybe we call them natural disasters, right? What you're going to do is you're going to watch the video, which you're probably doing right now, and you are going to draw this model. Folks, if you already know what a model is, then you can go ahead and start. But remember, there is a checklist here for you, right? So you want to try to include all of these, or as many of them as you can. So you'll want a title, you'll want some kind of drawing, you want some labels, some arrows, some colors, and maybe some small descriptions of stuff that you might know that is happening to cause earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about models. Okay, so let's look at our first one here. The first one is a 2D model that is pretty straightforward with some labels. So here you can see there's a title that says process of photosynthesis. So we know right away that this model is portraying what's happening in photosynthesis, right? And if you look at the model here, there seems to be a clear separation in the middle here, right? So on the left side, it looks like these are the reactants or the ingredients that you need to be able to produce, right, these products, oxygen and sugar. Right? So we can see very clearly what's required for the process of photosynthesis. Now this is pretty straightforward, right? You need these three things, 1, 2, and 3, and maybe some other minerals underground to make these two things, right? To make energy. And this is also known as energy. Okay, so I don't even know that much about photosynthesis, but just by looking at this, I can kind of tell what the process of photosynthesis is. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's look at another model. Now this one is a little bit more complicated, as you can see, right? There's some inner details, right, and some processes. So let's start from the left side here. So here the left side is very similar to this one, right? So it's really similar. You can see it. You need sunlight, you need CO2, you need water, and then you can make oxygen and sugar out of that. But how, right? So on the inside, you zoom in to the plant, right? This is what you see, right? Inside of the plant cell, this is what's happening, okay? And specifically inside of the chloroplast, right? So this little thing here is what this looks like, okay? And looks like there's something called a Kelvin cycle that is happening here that is taking CO2 and making, right, CH2O. Very interesting. Different. This is a kind of sugar. Okay, and then it's taking the water and light and it's turning it into oxygen. Right, so you can see how it is making this and this inside, on the inside. Now that's pretty cool, and that's a more detailed example, right? More detailed model compared to this one. Okay, let's look at another one. This kind of model is called a cross-section model. So for a cross-section model, you can see that we are still looking at a chloroplast as well. But in this case, right, you can clearly see it's 3D and it's been cut, right? That's why it's like cross-section. Right? It's been cut in half, right? So you can see it's been cut in half, and the Kelvin cycle is labeled here. CO2 comes in, right? The CO2 comes in, then you get glucose or sugar out, okay? And then here you see H2O come in, right? So here's H2O, and then you get oxygen out. Okay, so it's really interesting. That's pretty cool, right? So now you can see that there are three different kinds of models. And let's look at our last one here. Now, this one is more so just words that are describing the process of photosynthesis. So if you look at this one, it starts all the way up here. The light energy goes through chlorophyll, it looks like. And that it basically turns light energy into chemical energy, and then it separates water into oxygen and hydrogen, and then this hydrogen passes through a second stage of photosynthesis, and then the oxygen is diffused into the chloroplast. And so if we go back and look up here, we can see, okay, so it looks like the oxygen is separated and diffused inside of the chloroplast. But how does it get out? I don't know. Okay, so even though I don't know that much about photosynthesis, right, because I guess I'm not a biology teacher, but here you can really, like, just by looking at these models, you can already kind of tell what photosynthesis is. Okay, so let's go back to our model here. Right, so your goal is to draw a model of what you think causes earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis. And I want you to use all your prior knowledge, but don't look stuff up, right? I just want to know, what do you know right now? Okay, so go ahead and draw whatever you think will help you answer our question. What causes earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis? Okay, bye.